It's time to start the music.
It's time to start the show. Well, hello everybody.
Hey everybody.
Welcome to our sixth episode.
Yeah, I think it is 6. Wow,
oh my
6
gosh.
already. Wow. that hit me. That's incredible. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. Wow.
I'm already thinking about what the next podcast is going to be. I'm already. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you guys. We had some reactions to the Fraggle Rock clip that I put up here.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
Well, some people agreed with me that it was a little scary.
That's awesome.
And others said, oh, I loved that show. So there's a balance, but
understandable.
So maybe I will give it like a try someday.
We'll see.
Just start with like a little clip or something. Watch it be the clip that scared me as a kid, and I just fall back into it.
we don't need to send you down some downward spiral, especially this time of year with everything you got coming up.
Right.
We don't need to be doing that. But we'll see what the next one is. We got this one first, and we still got plenty of names in the
Lots
hats.
of
this hat. This one.
And speaking of which, I think I started last time, so I think you get to start this time.
All right. So
picking out of the Muppet quote/fact hat.
Right. Okay. Let's see what we got here.
Let's see what's cooking.
Before we get too far ahead, you mentioned my shirt when I walked in. I love yours. I like
Thank
that.
you.
It's wicked.
Yeah,
it's
like these big puffy rainbow sleeves, and it's comfy baseball tee.
It looks so much better on you than me. It looks so dumb. I cannot pull that off.
I don't know. I feel like you could.
Here we go. Ooh, this is a fact. Oh, cool.
Oh, another fact.
Yeah, it seemed like, didn't we start out with a couple quotes?
Yeah.
And now we've had maybe 2 facts in a row, I think.
Yes, I believe you are right.
Although one would think that the Muppet Show was performed in front of a live studio audience, it wasn't because the filming process for a single episode would take an incredibly long time due to all the Muppet mechanics. It is said that depending on the celebrity guest for that episode, sometimes workers from neighboring studios would come in to watch. Oh, so it wasn't done in front of a live audience. They just had live people there sometimes.
I guess so, yeah.
Interesting. Oh, is that cool?
Yeah.
I would have never known that. And as somebody who dissects these things at a crazy level, not a healthy level.
Hence the podcast.
Yeah. Nice. That is really wild.
That is interesting, yeah. I wonder if it makes a difference for like the performers or not?
Well,
like the live audience?
So I don't know how much you've experienced this. The first thing that popped in my head, for those that haven't done a lot of theater, usually you have your opening night, and the night before that, or maybe the day before, but it's usually the night before you have your dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
But for me, that has always been opening night. Traditionally, especially in like community theater, sometimes like say my mom and dad couldn't make it to opening night or something, but they could make it to that show, so our director would let them there, or a relative is out of town and they can only make it that night.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got some other things like that. So, an audience that could fit like 300-400 people, you got 20-30 people out there. Which for me, like give me 2 people and it's a show. That's all it takes. Mm-hmm. Because of being a performer, I think, but more so for me, there's always going to be a time in a show where you have all these times, okay, they'll laugh here, they're going to awe here, but then you get talking and you're in the live performance and somebody laughs at something you never saw coming. You don't have no idea why they're laughing at this, but you have to pause and give them that laughter and let it fade before you jump in with your next line, otherwise they're never going to hear it. Those dress rehearsals to me were key to that.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much that helped the actors and the live feeling that you would get, because I never would have dreamed that it was in front of at least like 40-50 people at the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. That is really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. I guess they were just their own audience working together. But it does also make sense with all like how long it would take maybe to do certain scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe an audience would get a little cranky, rightfully so.
Sure. With scheduling and everything too, I imagine that there was so much that had to be worked out with some of these guests and everything to get them there in the right time, with their filling in their window. The Muppet Show was, I think, kind of, I don't know if it was ahead of the curve, maybe it was already common back then, but of having like, oh, this name is big right now, let's get him on the show. Mm-hmm. And so they probably had to do things pretty kind of spur of the moment, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was wild. That's a good one.
Yeah. What a good fact.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Well,
your turn.
oh,
Oh, the big one.
Yes, I know. It's always such like a fun adrenaline moment.
It really
We haven't
is.
gotten a movie yet.
True.
Yeah, so what's it gonna be?
Can't wait for this.
Got one. Get up. Oh no, I have two. Okay. Okay, what's it gonna be? Oh my god! It's Beaker!
Yes! Yes!
I was just talking to my mother-in-law last night, and this is her favorite Muppet.
Really? Your mother was?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this is amazing.
That's too perfect.
And she listens to the show now. So
Yes.
Jean, this one's for you.
Right on. Good for you, G. Good for you.
This is gonna
great
be
is
so
that?
fun. Oh my gosh. Well, okay, that's tradition. Oh wait, we didn't do the thing where we list all of the Muppets we've done.
Oh,
We started
yeah,
that
yeah.
last episode.
Apologies, everybody.
The podcast apologizes for
Completely
its
unprofessional. You get your money back. Get your money back.
So, do you want to try to list them in chronological order this time? I think that, I don't remember which one of us did
I
that.
almost said Snuffleupagus because he is not even in this. But Sweetums, was Sweetums the first one? No. We had the movie for the first one. We almost had the movie for the first one, but the first one was actually I can picture him. I don't want to look at my notes. I don't want to cheat. Help me, please.
I was trying to do the math.
Oh yeah. Nice. Oh, that was good. That was a nice draw.
It starts with an M.
You're gonna have to do it.
Marvin Suggs.
Marvin. Thank you. Yes, Marvin
okay.
Suggs was our first one. Yes, and of course the second one.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, remember that one.
Animal. And then Lips was our third one.
Yeah.
And Sweetums was our
There we
fourth
go.
one.
Yeah,
There
I
you
was
go.
thinking of Sweetums. That was the one I was trying to think
Yeah.
of.
And then our fifth one was Ralph the dog.
Yeah.
Good old Ralph, Uncle Ralph. And now Beaker.
Now Beaker joins the list. Oh, is that good? That is. Growing up, my sister really loved Beaker and I'm Bunsen Honeydew. And
Yes.
whenever it came to making Jill or my brother or my mom laugh, I would try really hard to learn how to do the voices. And I never really got Beaker down, but I ended up getting Bunsen down.
Really? I feel like for most people it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm
fun.
Bunsen Honeydew. I loved Beaker though.
Yeah.
There's something about taking Beaker as a type of character aside, the nonverbal character, but still the vocal, like Animal. These characters that sometimes they'll say like Groot is probably one of the more common ones and popular ones now. That I just always draw to. I always love. There's something about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not alone in that. But
Oh,
a lot of people are
definitely.
drawn to that character.
Oh my gosh. And what like a simplistic genius the character of Beaker is with like his one word. Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say one of my favorite things about that type of character, you get it a lot with the group character and with Beaker, is that the other characters, and they know, oh, really, Beaker? Really? You don't think so? No, I don't agree with that, Beaker. I love that aspect of the role, of the character, that we don't know what they're saying, but they do. For some reason, I just love that almost inside joke kind of thing of it.
Absolutely. Well, how would you describe Beaker?
Beaker is every time an experiment goes wrong, that's Beaker. It just feels like that's him.
To no fault of his own.
No, but that is he is. If you were going to create a Muppet, I want to create a Muppet that is the embodiment of that. That's Beaker.
That is Beaker. Yeah.
So unfortunate too, because I know that they had some experiments work out. They had some that worked.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, now you've seen Muppets in Space now. We won't dive into it because we'll save it for the slip, but they have a lot of inventions in that movie. All thanks to Beaker. Well, and Dr. Honeydew.
Yeah, but no, you're right.
Yeah.
And now that I think about that, that's a kind of cool evolution of that role. Because I think as a kid, and even go back to the old show and stuff, I don't think a lot of those experiments worked out. I think that was part of the bit, part of the funny part.
Right.
When the smoke settles and they're all black and punched up, which never got old. Never got old. That was funny every time to me. It's kind of an evolution of that to where in the movie, which is a little more current, to get to see some of those experiments work out.
Yeah.
How would you describe him?
Well, I think that he is almost like the hero without a cape because he is the he is like what's the word I'm looking for? He's the tester for all of the different inventions and stuff. And there were a lot of inventions in like almost every Muppet movie that Honeydew's like, well, because of this invention, we can get out of here safely. And it's always Beaker who's wearing it or tested it or something. So, he deserves a cape. He deserves something, so we'll give him this episode.
I mean, he deserves his own episode. I never thought about that. You know, the first thing that popped in my head when you said that, R2-D2.
Oh.
I've always thought that, and I'm not alone, I'm sure there's probably a Reddit line or something like that on it. But I've always thought R2-D2 was like the most unsung hero in the whole Star Wars universe. Like of all the characters. And, you know, R2 doesn't open up that sewer thing, the trash compactor. There's no 3, 4, and the whole show ends right there. It's just one little incident, let alone getting Leia's message and everything. Like, there's so many little times in the series, and the whole run of it.
It's really a staple.
And I never really felt like he gets his flowers, he gets his due. I think in pop culture he's pretty popular, so he's pretty, I'm sure R2's confidence is okay, but Beaker even more so, Beaker with that. That's a good take, that's good.
You know what I just thought of? What if, Beaker, one of the first words that I think of is anxious when I say Beaker. What if he was like the calmest, chillest, little Muppet ever, but it was one of the experiments that made him, or so many experiments that have made him cry.
This is a reference that you might not get. They're one of the better TV shows of all time, Taxi.
Oh, I've heard of the show.
Okay, Danny DeVito and Tony Danza got their starts on there. Andy Kaufman, and of course the amazing Christopher Lloyd. That's really where he became famous, and his character was kind of this stone, kind of high guy and stuff that was always too trippy. But you find out at one point he had one marijuana brownie and that just set him off. It wasn't like he was this long time drug person or anything like that. It was just one time.
Just opened his mind.
And it just just blew him up. That's interesting to think Beaker being that. Beaker was actually more like the eagle, like Sam the Eagle.
Right.
I don't understand what all this is about.
He's a scientist too. So, I would assume if they're always hanging out and stuff. So.
What if actually Bunsen was the test subject most of the time, and one of the experiments went wrong, and just kind of I don't know.
Wow,
some interesting stuff there.
Yeah, I do love the kind of not so hidden messages, but for lack of a better word, and the reboot of the Muppet Show in 2015 that they're a couple.
Yeah, I've heard about that. That's really cool. I like that angle of it. Speaking back off of that, you brought up something there, or you got me thinking about something. I don't know that we've ever been that certain that Beaker is a man, or woman, or whatever.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah. When it comes to a lot of the Muppet characters, there's certainly a Miss Piggy in some scenarios where it's pretty evident, but I don't know if it was intentional or not. But how beautiful is it that so many of those characters are interchangeable like that?
Right, it's gender fluid.
Yeah, and if you are, I know for me as a young kid and a young creative, it was always so cool to me to read a character or to fall in love with a character, kind of envision myself as that character a little bit.
Same here. Me and my siblings would be watching a movie and we'll be like, I'm this person, I'm this person.
Yeah, but there wasn't a lot of representation for that for mixed kids or anything like that to be able to have that at least be there as an opportunity. That's pretty cool. I don't know if it was intended or not, but it just speaks to how amazingly creative that team was, and Henson, and of course all the people that he worked with were.
Yeah.
That's good.
Love that.
That's a good one.
Love Beaker.
Beaker's a good one.
Well, what scenario are we going to put Beaker in? Which, I feel bad saying that because he's already gone through the ringer.
Should we just skip this one? Because I don't want to do that to Beaker. That'd be funny.
We appreciate you, Beaker.
It's the one episode we don't do one. It's just to give him a break.
That's the show.
So where are we putting Beaker? Let's see. If this Muppet was competing in a pageant, God, this is a good one, Brie. You did a good one here. If this Muppet was competing in a pageant, what do you think their talent would be? And do you think they could win at all? Ooh. Ooh, that latter part is a nice touch.
Unpack.
Yeah. Let's unfold this one.
I forgot about like all of the would you everything slips, so it's really fun to hear them.
I'm really happy that you did too. I'm really happy for you and the show. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh my god.
Whew, talent. Are we? I think we're kind of thinking pageant, kind of right away, right? You know, okay, make it simplify a little bit here. Pretty much everybody understands what a beauty pageant, that kind of thing. So, talent.
I mean, the first thing I thought of was like a singing thing, just because of like the, you know, he has like a high register.
Yeah.
So
I would go.
Yeah, I mean, but what song like would he sing? Something iconic.
Oh, now we're that's good.
Like,
That's
My
taking
Heart Will
another
Go
level.
On or something like that.
That's perfect. Oh, I love like a single spotlight on him, and it gets nervous and everything, and we're like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen here, and then just belts, just.
Oh my gosh, just like a sparkly sequence.
Oh,
like,
I love it. Yeah.
Toga or something.
That or some disco. Something disco.
Yeah.
Something I kind of like the idea of just out of nowhere Napoleon dynamiting it. It's kind of like all of a sudden just starts dancing out of nowhere.
Actually though, that's perfect. I feel like I've seen some character art somewhere on Pinterest of Beaker as Napoleon.
Oh, that's great.
So,
Oh, that's really fitting.
that would be amazing if Beaker reenacted that whole talent show.
Come full circle like that. I like that. That's got to happen now. Somebody make that happen.
Pretty
Somebody,
please.
Get on that. I'm not a graphic design enough, smart enough for those things.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, okay. So I think that feels good. That I like.
Yeah.
So singing would be his talent. I think that's good. I would throw in there juggling, if only just because of like him juggling beakers. It's just in my head right now.
Could win the judges over.
Yeah. We really could.
A nice little clever pun in there.
I like that, but I'm with you on the singing. I think that's it.
I feel like it would be unexpected, and the judges would just be like, Pat, their tears away.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know you had it in you, Beaker.
Now I don't mind the idea of Beaker competing against like let's say it's like the Miss USA pageant and Beaker's like the only Muppet. Like it's all regular contestants and then there's Beaker thrown in there. Don't know if he'd win. Don't know. And there might be some legalities with him being a man in the women's competition that might come up in there. I feel like at some point, but maybe we'll see. I like it even more though him competing against other Muppets.
Yes.
And I feel like we know the episode already without it even happening.
Yeah.
Miss Piggy, of course, gonna think she's gonna win the whole thing and stuff, and nobody's gonna be able to compete with her. Maybe Lips is in there or something.
I feel like Camilla the chicken.
Yes.
Is also in there.
Camilla's gotta be. Camilla may be some competition.
Yeah, I think so. She's very sassy.
Sneaky competition. But then Beaker comes in and like steals the whole show with the singing.
Unexpected underdog.
I think that there's a scenario Beaker could win.
I think so. I think in the Muppet universe, he does win. And then I think in like the Mrs. Universe or the USA pageant, he doesn't win, but there's a petition for like the fans.
Ooh, yeah.
And then he gets like an honorary win or
Right
something like
that.
that.
I like that. That's good. Oh, that is a fun idea.
Oh, Beaker in a pageant dress just makes me feel warm inside.
Sometimes you get images in your head you can't get out, and sometimes you get them where you don't want them to get out. Like, I want to keep that. I just want to keep that in my file cabinet. Anytime I need to smile like Beaker in that costume.
Right. In some alternate universe, Beaker was in a pageant.
Oh,
so
that's
today
good.
can't be that bad.
I love that. That's a great one.
Oh my gosh. This is going too fast.
It's going too fast. We gotta slow down here a little bit. Yeah,
right.
It's going too quick.
Because he's just such a good character. That's kind of like with Lips too. Like he was such a easygoing character that it was just easy to put him in these scenarios.
And with these characters that are often like kind of you mentioned Camilla, and you can't think of Camilla without Gonzo, Gonzo without Camilla. These kind of characters that are connected to other characters. I didn't think about that, but that is going to be a fun part of this too, where we're kind of getting to talk about them twice almost.
Yeah.
When Bunsen comes up, we get to talk about Beaker again. That's a kind of fun part of this too.
That is fun, yeah.
I don't know creatively. I don't think we've done a lot of this either when we're describing them. How much Beaker, of course, looks like a test tube. And I don't know how much that was intended, if it was just kind of like, well, yeah, of course we're going to make him look that way. Or if you said that to the creators of him and like all of a sudden, oh wow, I never even thought of that. I don't know how that would work out. I'd love to do a little homework on that. But
I feel like almost everything they do is intentional, and I would imagine it takes so much time for them to build like a prototype Muppet. So they spend so much time with like that material and everything. I feel like it's gotta be intentional.
Yeah, I would lean towards that. I would definitely give them the benefit of the doubt on it and be like, well, they definitely thought of that.
Yeah.
When it comes to his eyes, I think he has.
They're so expressive.
They're so great, and I'm a big fan of actors that can do a lot of acting with their eyes.
Yeah.
One of my I think one of the stronger talents you can have as an actor is when you can act behind a mask, or voice acting is another one that I think all the greats to me are able to do those things. With this field, with Muppets, you need that so much, and it's funny to me, like with some of the characters where, like, is it Daisy, the bass player or whatever in the Electric Mayhem? Janice, thank you, Janice.
Yeah.
Where her eyes never really open, but they're expressive. They kind of fit her expressiveness and everything. And then the other side of it, like a Beaker, where I don't even know if I'm not sure if Beaker has eyelids. I'm not sure if he has.
Yeah.
I don't know if his eyes ever close, really. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, they like get wider. I don't think he does have eyelids.
Not sure. No, I don't know. So it's kind of fun how much they put into the face. They really do focus on that a lot. I sent you a clip of one of the rabbit holes I went down, the Muppet holes I went down, looking into some of the, just kind of familiarizing myself with the characters and Jim Henson.
Yeah.
And I caught an interview with him on The Tonight Show that we recommend you find. He wasn't on there too much, so you should be able to find it pretty quick. It's still the only time I've ever seen Johnny Carson like rattled. Like in close to, I wouldn't say he was rattled, but as close as I've ever seen to him rattled.
Yeah, you can see kind of the gears turning, because he's got to have the next question up.
Yeah. And he's, if not the GOAT, one of the GOATs when it comes to the interviewing game.
Yeah.
I've studied him a lot, doing Midday Magazine and a lot of that stuff that I do at the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen him like that, where he was kind of confused at one point. And you know, he usually has his notes and everything, and he was just kind of, he's talking to the Muppet and asking the Muppet questions, and he catches them like, what am I doing? It was so great. What the best part of that, I thought, coming out of it was, to me, was seeing Jim working and not having to see him below. And
it's so impressive.
It is incredible to me. Like him in alone, that quiet confidence he had, that where he wasn't necessarily, I have to be the biggest name in the room or anything, but boy, if you give him a chance to talk, he's such a good talker.
Hold on to your seat. Yeah, he's so articulate, but not in a way that like puts you down or anything. And very funny. Yeah. So funny. We think of him as the creative. We think of him with the Muppets and all these things. I don't know if the comedian gets enough credit. Yeah. You know, I think that if a different parallel universe, he doesn't go the Muppet route, I think we still learn of Jim Henson. Maybe he's a stand-up comedian. Maybe he's a writer. I don't know. But it's actually really interesting that you say that, because I forgot to tell you this before we started recording, but I watched a Henson interview today. I don't know, because I would suggest this for like any creative if you need some like boost or something. Just watch one of his interviews, because he's just so like lighthearted and nice to watch and listen to. But he was saying that I think someone had asked him like how the Muppets started or something along those lines, and he said he loved TV and he just knew that he wanted to be involved with TV, and that opportunity just kind of came up. So he came up with the Muppets so he could be on TV. So it wasn't really like about the Muppets, he said. Yeah. And the person interviewing him, which I feel bad that I don't remember, but they're like, so if there's a weatherman position available, and Jim Henson, without missing a beat, he was like, this would be my 30th anniversary of being a weatherman. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that humor is there, and just that ease of like, yeah, that's where life took me, and this is where I am, like the humbleness. It's just never. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, I can tell that it really hit you. You gotta send me that link. I gotta see that one.
Yeah.
If it is the one I'm thinking of, it might have been Dick Cavett that was interviewing. I'm not sure, but good interviewer too. Whoever it was, I do remember it being a good one. One of the I think lasting gifts that he gave us when it comes to that is the re-falling in love with these characters and these so much of that. I've been doing that since the short time we've been doing this. I really thought, I've always loved the Muppets. They've always been a big deal to me. I've fallen back in love with them again. I've fallen back in love with watching these things. It lightens me up a little bit. It loosens me up a little bit. And there's not a lot of things in life that do that, people. It's so much fun to be able to do. Even without this podcast, I think that you and I, we've talked about the Muppets before. It's how this all got rolling.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that in your life, you know?
Yeah,
And that's a gift that is always sitting there. That file cabinet in your brain, when you have to go into your mind palace to shrivelwalk a little bit, you have that there waiting for you.
Yeah,
nice.
it kind of awakens the inner child, and it's kind of sad to think sometimes that inner child is asleep for so long, because, I don't know, I feel like you can still be an adult and let that child be awake.
Yeah. I wonder, too, if it doesn't give us permission to let them out. You know? Like, for something, there's very few universal things. It's hard pressed to find somebody like, I hate the Muppets. Like, it's really hard to find that. Like, it doesn't matter, man, woman, rich, poor, from Europe, from here, it just seems like it's pretty universal. And a lot of that comes from nostalgia. A lot of that comes from most of us, no matter your age or my age, growing up with them. And it almost feels like the Muppets give us an open for that.
Yeah.
Like it's always cool to me though. You look at some of the weirder guests that they've had on the Muppet Show, and you see somebody like Snoop on there, or somebody like that, like a gangster rapper on the Muppet Show, and you hear them talk about how much they wanted to do the show. Oftentimes it's them reaching out to them about wanting to be on.
Yeah, that's so incredible.
Yeah, it really. Johnny Cash, being on there and stuff, and that kind of thing. Just people you would never maybe expect. But it connects us all.
The rainbow connection.
Right on. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Well, it's my turn.
Yeah. Let me break it to you.
Thank you. So the would you hat or beaker. Okay, I got two again. Okay, thank you. Here we go. Okay, would you hire this Muppet if they interviewed for your company? Beaker.
Beaker.
Is this like pre all the experience?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very important question. I am a huge fan of Beaker. I like Beaker a lot. Ain't no way I'm hiring Beaker to work in the radio station. I am sorry. I would recommend him. I would be a reference for him.
What about behind the scenes?
No, I'm so sorry. I feel horrible doing it, but radio is such an intense gig and such a spinning plates, Yeah. No, wait a minute. Maybe I'm being too quick on this though, because Beaker's been in those situations his whole life pretty much. That's so maybe he's tailor-made for it.
He's preparing for this his whole life.
I'll say this: I've never seen Beaker shy away from an experiment. He's always
the
right
kid's
there.
got guts.
He does have guts, and you need that in radio. You need somebody who's willing to put themselves out there and be a little vulnerable and all that. Beaker seems to be okay with that. You know what? I hire him as an intern and see how it goes.
There you go. Yeah.
See how it goes. Somebody gave me a chance. I'll give him a chance. Why not?
There you go. That's
I
nice.
don't know how this is. I don't know how it's going to go.
Maybe he doesn't get on the air, but maybe he gets your coffee and make sure you have your notes and stuff.
Yeah. Oh boy, now I have not only the image of him in that costume, but him in that costume doing radio. What about you? Would you?
Well, I guess my quote-unquote company is just freelance writing, so I've never seen him at a laptop or something, but I feel like he's smart. He's got to be like some level of intelligence to have like a science assistant job.
Would you do a podcast with Beaker?
Beaker, what do you think this? Me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know what?
If I can understand him. Absolutely, I feel like it would be a great serotonin boost.
I love doing this with you. It's one of the things I look forward to the most. But I have to bow out. I think Beaker's going to have to take my spot. I think that Beaker's going to have to. I'm sorry, everybody, but thank you. It's been a fun run. Thank you, Bria. I really do appreciate the time. But
Beaker, come on out. It's good to have you on too, Beaker. I might not be remembering artist who did our cover art.
Shout out.
I think that he was like looking at different Muppets to be able to form us into Muppets, because he said it was quite the creative challenge to like create people in Muppet Fact.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I think he said that he used Beaker a little bit for you.
I wouldn't be surprised looking at that.
Yeah.
I have to be honest. I don't feel like I look very good. But I don't think that's off. I'm not certain I look that good in real life.
Oh,
so I think it was kind of fitting. I think
No.
it's funny you say that, because it was really cool to me to see those first and to see that and look at it right away and think, wow, that is me. That's so good. Like, and what I thought was cool too was the color choices and the shape choices. It got me thinking about, I wonder how much they thought about that when they were making that.
Yeah.
Like, this one we're gonna make this way. We're gonna make a round one here, and then going back to what we were talking about with Beaker, was he intended to look like a test tube or not? You know? Yeah, and shout out, man, nice work.
Yeah, thank you, Aubin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and thank you, Beaker.
Yeah, thank you, Beaker.
What a fun episode.
That was so much fun.
It literally flew by.
Yeah, a little too fast. I hope we filled the half an hour.
I hope you guys enjoyed your time with Beaker.
If not, we will just fill the remainder of the time with a monologue from Beaker. Maybe Beaker doing some, Shakespeare or something.
Me.
Bria, you are good. You are good. If you were in my improv class, you'd just pass. You'd pass just from that right there. Like, send her through. Send her to the main stage.
Took guts. Just
Took
had
guts.
to lock into my inner Beaker.
Guts just like Beaker. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nicely
Yeah.
done. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. And if you enjoyed this and you'd like to support the podcast, consider following us on Instagram or YouTube at What the Muppet Pod. And if you want to shoot us an email too, let us know what you think of the show, or comments, or whatever.
Please do.
Yeah, just thank you for listening or watching. It means a lot to us.
Yeah. Talk to you next week.
Yep.